Let's say a business owner buys a CRM, then a booking tool, and then a course platform. Each one of these solves a problem on its own. But 6 months in, nothing talks to each other. Every new hire needs training on 4 different logins, and somehow the business feels more fragile with more tools, not less. Here's the part most people miss. The fix isn't about picking better tools. It's one specific quality that separates a business where tools multiply each other's value from a business where tools just pile up. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that quality is and how to spot it before you buy your next tool instead of after. I'm William Beem. When I went out on my own business, I did what most new business owners do. I picked up tools one at a time, whichever one solved the problem sitting in front of me that week. There was a CRM here, a booking tool there, Zapier duct taped in between to make them talk to each other. Every purchase made sense by itself. But here's the problem. The bill kept climbing. The automations kept breaking, and I spent more hours managing my software than running my business. If that sounds familiar, you're not doing anything wrong. This is what happens when nobody's designed a system and everybody's just buying pieces of one. Here's what actually stopped me. I'd spent years inside enterprise organizations. I worked for Lockheed Martin, PwC, BNY, and General Mills, evaluating business needs and building systems that had to work as a whole, not as separate parts. I had that skill set the entire time. I just wasn't using it on my own business because I was trusting outside recommendations instead of applying what I already knew. That was the actual mistake, not the tools, the fact that I'd stopped architecting. That's what I do now as principal architect for Suburbia Press, and it's what this show is built to teach you. The same lens that I used for organizations far bigger than yours, scaled down to fit the business you're actually running. So here's the framework that got me out of it. This is just something I came up with on my own to make it simple and easy to understand. What I want to point out is that most consultants stop at integration. That's the wrong finish line. The goal isn't to get the tools to talk to each other. It's building a business where every new capability makes the existing ones more valuable. That's the difference between integration and compounding. And that's the quality I promised you at the start of this video. So let's go take a look at what all of this really means. All right, so this is how an architect really thinks. In enterprise IT, you ask questions. How do these systems fit together? What are the trade-offs? Because there were always trade-offs. What is this going to look like in 5 years? And how do we reduce your technical debt? So there's 5 dimensions and there's one capability. Every business capability we're going to look at through these dimensions that I've talked about. You can think of as lenses, they're qualifiers, however you want to do it. But if something is weak in any one of them, that means your business is going to feel the effects. Just remember, a tool can be excellent on its own and still be the wrong choice if it forces your business into a shape that it wasn't meant to take. So for example, picture a project management tool built for software teams, forced onto a service business that runs on appointments, not on sprints. The tool works exactly as it was designed, it just doesn't fit. So what we're looking for is coherence. Does this system make sense in the context of everything else? So you don't evaluate your business tools in isolation. You evaluate them as a holistic system. It should fit the overall business architecture and support your organization's goals rather than creating new complexity. The next one is convergence. When these systems work together, do they create something that neither could do alone? Individual systems, well, most of them are designed that way. They're not designed as part of a master plan. And that's the difference between 2 tools that merely connected and 2 tools that unlock new capability by existing together. So what you're looking for are outcomes that no single application could achieve. Picture that as a CRM and a community platform that combined let you see a member's entire relationship with the business in one view, something neither one was really designed for by itself. The next thing you're looking for is continuity. Can the business survive a change? If a key employee leaves, a vendor shuts down, you outgrow a tool overnight, does the business keep running? You're looking for resilience that's built in ahead of time. So all of these things that can happen, staff turnover, vendor changes, outages, migrations, or growth, can you keep your business continuity going? So imagine the one employee who knows how the automations work leaving. nobody else being able to touch the system without breaking it. That's a real risk that a lot of entrepreneurs have. If you built things yourself, you know how it's going. If you're inheriting something that someone else built, you need to become familiar with it, or you need to know how to analyze it. Does the tool give you that capability? Number 4 is control. Who actually owns the data? Does the business retain ownership of the data, the processes, which would be the automations and workflows, and the decisions? Think about this carefully. When I talk about who owns the data, do you know where your data is right now? If you're using tools that are online, software as a service platforms, do you know where the servers are? Are they anywhere near you? Are they in the country that you live in? Are they in a country that might be hostile to the country that you live in? You need to know where your data is. Particularly if you're dealing with issues like GDPR, you're responsible for where that data is and how it's handled. If you are using a service that doesn't meet the requirements of GDPR or some other compliance issue that your business faces, you're the one who takes the hit. You can't just say, oh, the vendor didn't do this. They don't care. And the fines can be incredibly large. So you need to retain ownership of your information, your workflows. For example, the workflows and automations. You might use something like MailChimp. You might use something like kit.com, and you're going to build different workflows in there. Well, when you leave, can you take those workflows with you? No, you really can't. At best, you can probably download a list of your contacts, and you may even be able to download the tags or keywords that are associated with them. But all the effort that you put into building those automations, you're not going to take with you, because there is no translation between one tool and another. There's no universal standard for automations and workflows. Every tool is different. If a platform changes its pricing or shuts down a feature and you have no say in it, all you get is to pay the bill. Or maybe what you were paying for now costs you more and you have to pay extra because somebody made a decision that affects your business and you had no say in it. All right, so number 5 is compounding. This is the one that's really magical. Does adding this make everything else you have more valuable? Does it increase the capability and the value of the other tools in your stack? And this is a test most businesses never applies. It's the one that separates a pile of tools from an actual holistic system. Picture one new automation that feeds better data into every other system already in place, so the whole stack of tools gets sharper, not just longer. And this is the shift that I want you to think about. We're looking at integration versus compounding. Most consultants are going to stop at integration because that's really all we think that we know about. If you're looking at the software as a service companies, well, some of them will integrate with other products. And if they don't, well, that's when there's Zapier or tools like it. The problem is that's the wrong finish line. And the other problem is that costs you a lot of money. Later on in this series, we're going to look at integrations that affect your CRM, perhaps a community if you're using one of those, perhaps your shopping cart, and maybe even your booking system. All of those things have triggers for events that happen, and they have actions you can take based off of those events. That's good. That's how you create your workflows. The problem is if you're using a tool like Zapier, you're paying for every one of those triggers to fire and every action that happens afterwards. And also sometimes those automations on Zapier or Make, they just break down. And that's something that's outside of your control. It's not something that you did wrong. It's just because these systems are scattered all about, and this reliability of using some of these tools, most of the time I'd say it's probably all right, but it's just the wrong thing. Integration is not what you're looking for. You're looking for a compounding effect. And that compounding effect isn't just talking to each other. It's where you have new capabilities. And that's where this series name, Creating Capabilities, originated. You're trying to make the business itself more capable, one decision at a time. So if you look at these 5 dimensions as lenses I'll use on every case study, every decision we walk through here, that's going to help you make certain that you're building a business system, not just buying a collection of tools that charges you every month or every year. So the business value compounds when the capabilities reinforce one another. So in the next episode, we're going to run these 5 dimensions against a real company. One of the most popular CRM platforms in the world just lost half its deliverability team. and its own leadership has admitted growth is stalled. We'll walk through exactly what happened and what that means for anyone whose business depends on the platform they don't control. If you want the deeper argument for why ownership matters this much, the architectural risk assessment breaks down the 5 structural risks in full. It's linked below. I'll have a QR code on the screen. And if you want to work through the decisions like this one with people building the same kind of businesses, the Suburbia Press community is where that happens to. Links also below. Thanks so much. I'll see you again in the next episode.